So 25 years have already passed since Nokia released the iconic 3210 mobile phone. This was the phone to have in the 90s and early 2000s that had endless battery life, was built like a brick, and well, surprisingly, it's been re-released. This is the brand new 3210 and it even has 4G compatibility. Hey friends, Andrew here, hope you're well. I've been using this phone on and off for about a month and it's rather refreshing to use a dumb phone. And so in this video, I'll share my review of the new Nokia 3210, and this phone could well be the ultimate $90 dumb phone in a period when dumb phones are ironically becoming more popular than ever. But why are dumb phones on the rise? Well, I think a lot of people, including myself, are realizing just how attached we are to our smartphones, and it's becoming sort of a problem. Like for example, my average screen time on my iPhone is almost 5.5 hours every day. That doesn't even include the other Android phones that I'm currently testing and my computer screen time. So that's a big chunk of time that I'm using to stare at my phone. So dumb phones like this Nokia 3210 does a great job in embracing simplicity in the smartphone era, and it's actually becoming a movement. You can see on Google Trends that the global interest in searches for a dumb phone search term has been steadily climbing, and it still has clearly market interest. So I'm going to review the Nokia 3210 from the lens of a dumb phone because its camera, operating system, and basically everything about it is not going to compete with an Oppo X7 Ultra, Samsung S24, or an iPhone. But despite all of that, it's been a joy using the 3210 for surprising reasons. So the design, it's quite nice. I love just how small it is. I almost forgot how convenient a small phone is in hand and also in the pocket. It has this candy bar form factor. It's under an inch thick, and the scuba blue color is pretty striking in person. The physical buttons are tactile and pleasant to click. It thankfully has USB-C, so I've been able to charge it just about anywhere. And if you need to use this dumb phone for multiple purposes, there are even dual SIM slots. I think they've done a great job retaining that retro aesthetic of the classic, but giving it a modern spin. I have to say though, compared to the god tier durability of the original 3210, this one feels sort of a bit more plasticky to hold than I remember the original being, but I've already dropped this phone and even tried stepping on it intentionally, and it still works and looks perfectly fine. Unfortunately though, it is missing any sort of waterproofing, which if you're going to daily this phone properly, it would have been nice to have some sort of IPX rating. When it comes to the display, when I turned it on for the first time, I was surprised how decent the display is. So it's a 2.4 inch IPS LCD display. It's not any good next to a modern smartphone, of course, but it is better than the recently refreshed Nokia 2660 flip phone and the 3310 phone. I believe both of those have a TFT display. So the IPS display on this one here on the 3210 has better clarity and colors overall. Although let's be honest, the 240 by 320 pixel display would be pretty terrible for Instagram and TikTok doom scrolling, but hey, lucky for us, we're using this phone to run away from that addiction. It's plenty bright for indoor use, but expect to squint at it outdoors in sunlight. The display is completely glossy too, which doesn't do it any favors, but it's passable enough to make calls and text with it. When it comes to the camera though, let's just say it's pretty terrible and move on, because it is a 2 megapixel camera only. That's going to get you as good a photo or video as a potato. Honestly, I took a few snaps just to test it out, but very quickly moved on. I'm surprised you're able to manufacture a camera unit that is this bad nowadays, but I guess if at last resort you need to snap a picture, at least you have this option to do so if it's the only device on you. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Now, when it comes to battery life, this is what I'm talking about. It lasts forever. I'm getting anywhere between 4 to 7 full days of use before I need to plug it in and charge it. The caveat here is that it's a dumb phone, so I'm not really putting in 5+ hours of daily screen time. It's also not running a 4K display, and it's not pumping out spatial audio from its speakers. I've used it to text, make some calls, and play some Snake once in a while. But it does have quite a long battery life for its pocket-sized design. It's great if you want to go off-grid without needing to bring a charger. This is it. So the 3210 runs on Nokia's updated S30 operating system, known as the S30 Plus. And although it's dated, it does work more than fine for the purpose of a dumb phone. So we're looking at a stable operating system that runs well on tiny 64 megabytes of RAM. It's battery efficient, and well, this operating system does exactly that. I'm able to scroll through the menu quite quickly. Messaging is as snappy as number pad texting can be, and it boots up faster than some smartphones I've used. I was pleasantly surprised when I found out that iconic games like Crossy Roads and Doodle Jump come inbuilt on this phone. That is, until I realized that they cost 10 international text messages to buy, which is about $5, and then it renews month to month. They are great games for passing time, but if you're using a dumb phone, I'm pretty sure you'll have more interesting habits to pass time with, like reading a book or maybe even calling a friend and having a conversation. Now, I have found some negatives over the last month using this phone. The speaker on this phone when making calls isn't great. In fact, it sounds like crap. The other person on the phone can hear their voice played back to them, so you want to stay away from using the speakerphone. Second negative is the lack of any type of app store. Well, Nokia killed off that app store years ago by no fault of their own. And even though this isn't a smartphone, I would have appreciated having the option to download frequent apps like WhatsApp or even Spotify. But then again, I need to be careful here because as soon as I want a better screen, hotspot tethering, more RAM, and well, suddenly it becomes a smartphone all over again. And let's be honest, we don't need any of this on a dumb phone. It's not like we need to play Snake in 4K. So the Nokia 3210 as a dumb phone with a very affordable price tag of $90 brand new, it's pretty good for what it is. A remake of a classic. It has all the nostalgia and design wins of the classic, and I noticed day to day that I was actually getting a lot less distracted by my phone. There's barely much to do on this thing, so I literally saved an hour or two on screen time and directed it to, getting more work done or just spending more time with friends and family in real life. And that is the beauty of dumb phones. It's sort of a counter movement, not be sucked into the void of our screens, but instead to go back to basics and use our phones for the essentials, calls and texts. Look, I can see how this phone would appeal to some people who don't want to overcomplicate their digital life, or they don't want to spend more time than necessary on their phones. If that's you, you'll likely love the new Nokia 3210 for $90. But be warned, because what I found over the last month is it's quite hard to get by without a smartphone. So many things require it to get by these days, from scanning QR codes to entering a sports stadium with an e-ticket. For me personally, I enjoyed using this as a backup phone, but I can't say I'd go without my smartphone. And in fact, I'd probably still recommend buying the cheapest smartphone you can buy, because that phone will give you so much more usability, even if you feel like you don't need to use it. You'll just need the willpower to, not download TikTok and doom scroll. If you made it to the end of this video, comment the code word dumbphone, and I'll give it a like for watching until the very end. And let me know what you think of dumb phones too. Do you think it's a fad, or do you think it's a trend to stay? As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.